Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the WP Concreting Australian Fixed Setup Racing 410 Sprint Cars here on Ultimate Dirt TV. My name is Brett Wheeler. Tonight we visit the Lanier Speedway for round number 4, I believe, of the series. We have twin 30-lap feature events, I think it might be, or a 25-lap race coming up here. Joining me in the booth tonight is Sean O'Hara. Sean, welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV.
Thanks for having me, Brett.
Always a pleasure to have some special people in the booth and company as well. Normally I do it solo, but always enjoy having someone else to bounce off. We're in practice at the moment. In fact, we're going to load up the screen and you'll be able to see my ugly head on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. So at the moment we have our standings and we'll also have our top 10 at the moment. And Lachlan Smith is sitting atop of the speed charts at the moment with 11.585. So qualifying, getting set to roll off here. And Sean, it's Lanier Speedway. It's the shortest dirt track race or dirt track that iRacing has to offer. So what do you expect to play out tonight?
Yeah, I definitely expect some close racing tonight. We should definitely see some good slide jobs. I know this track is definitely good for slide jobs, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, slide jobs. Hopefully we do see one of the cars on the racetrack at the moment in car number 46 in the Ultimate Sprint Car Valvoline Raceway. Skin is going to be Matt Reed. In fact, he's just gone. I'm not sure where he's gone, but we're going to keep an eye on the 51. One of the sponsors here at Ultimate Dirt TV in the BK Designs 51. It's going to be Bob King. Matthew Goodwin is the first driver to take a time with a 12.579, and well, Danny Vassell, no surprise, 11.739, quickest at the moment.
Yeah, Brett, looks like Matt's had a connection issue, so that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, so let's hopefully Matt should be able to get that figured out. And talking about Bob King, he now jumps to P1 on the speed charts with an 11.723, and well, something that we don't really see too often in the league race is fixed setup racing, and it's all comes back down to driver ability and also where you want to adjust the wing angle as well. So that could play a part as this track wears on.
It's definitely going to open the racing up to a lot of guys that may not be up front all the time. They can definitely come up with fixed setup racing.
Yeah, just talking about the format for tonight as well, we have the top 20 drivers will go straight into tonight's feature event. Unfortunately, anyone that is 21st on back will miss out, but they will have another opportunity to qualify for the second race as well. 2 races per night here for the WP 410 fixed sprint car setup racing. And Bob King still quickest at the moment, 11.723. Danny Vassell second quick. And Lachlan Smith now jumps up to P3 with 11.814. Zach Phelan with 11.835. And Gavin Sadler rounds out your top 5. In fact, Matty Reach just done his qualifying efforts. And unfortunately, well, he's had contact with the wall, so he won't be able to take a time. And unless there's more than 21 drivers, which I don't think there is, there's only 18, all drivers will make tonight's show.
Yeah, it's quite surprising there, Joel. Doesn't look like he's going to take time, or he may just be waiting for the last few minutes to get out there and set a time. But as we speak, here he comes.
I expect that TTL down on the graphics number 9 to go somewhere towards the top of the speed charts. He was unsure whether he was going to run in tonight's proceedings, but I guess the old broadcast races, he tends to really showcase what he can do behind the wheel of any race car on the iRacing service. First lap time for Joel Berkeley in the number 9, 11.795, 11.795. Fourth quick for Joel Berkeley. See what he can do here on lap number 2. Looks good with an 11.841, so a little bit slower. And as it stands, Bob King will be tonight's fastest qualifier.
So no surprise, all the normal names, fast guys at the top, so just showing the way around the racetrack at the moment.
As we have a look at our full results here. So Bob King picking up P1. Danny Vassell is second quick, and well, no surprise, it's very close between your top 3. And we go back to probably even our top 5 is separated by less than a tenth. So Bob King, P1, Danny Vassell, Zach Phelan, Joel Berkeley, Lachlan Smith rounds out your top 5. Gavin Sadler in 6th. 7th is Dylan Shepherd. James Robbie in 8th. 9th is Bruce Smith. Dylan Fountain in 10th. Go back to Jaron Mott, Matthew Godwin, Jason Brown, Terry Marwood, Daniel Stevens, Colin Hewitt, Dwayne Precy, and Matt Reed. Matt Reed, the only driver, as I said, not to take your time, but that's due to contact with the concrete wall. And well, Sean, had there had been more than 21 cars, Matt Reed would have been hard done by there. But it's something that everyone has to deal with.
Yeah, that's it. He's lucky tonight that we don't have the full 20-car field. So even not setting a time there, we'll see the start of the first race, which is good to see a lot of cars out there at least.
Yeah, just waiting on the final less than 10 seconds here for qualifying, and then we'll get set straight into tonight's feature event. Once again, big thanks to our sponsors with the Ultimate Dirt TV. We also got BK Designs as well, and we want to give a shout out to the WP Concreting for sponsoring the 410 Australian Fixed Setup Racing League.
So it looks like we're actually going to go 40 laps here tonight, Brett, in this first race.
Okay, I did have something blocking that one, so it must have been the 25-minute limit that these guys do have. So we'll go through your grid. And starting on the pole in car number 51, it's going to be Bob King. To his outside in the 97, that's going to be Danny Vassell. At position number 3, we'll see the 49 of Zachary Phelan line up alongside the 9 of Joel Berkeley at a position number 4. In the 911 on the inside of row number 3, Lachlan Smith lines up alongside the 71 of Gavin Sadler. At a P7, in car number 43, it's going to be Dylan Shepherd to his outside. In the 41, it's James Robbie. At a position number 9, it's going to see the 16 of Bruce Smith line up alongside the 071 of Scott Fountain. Row number 6 on the inside, in car number 28, Jaron Mott lines up alongside the 34 of Matthew Godwin. Jason Brown in car number 50 lines up out of position number 13. Out of position 14 is Terry Marwood. Daniel Stevens in car number 66 will start out of position number 15. Colin Hewitt out of position number 16. Out of position 17, Dwayne Precy. And Matt Reed finishes our 18-car field, and I think someone may have missed the start. It may have been Terry Marwood. He's having a little issues there getting the sprint car going, but Sean, 40 laps the distance here. What do we expect, or what are you expecting to see here in these opening couple of laps?
Currently the track looks pretty tacky, so I'm expecting it to go off pretty quick. We do have, looks like 18 car or 17 with Terry missing, making the grid. So I expect to see some hammer down at the start, and then we'll start to get that slick line, and that's when we should start to see the good side-by-side racing. And I expect to see 2 lines form here in this first race.
Yeah, pace car waiting to leave the circuit, and it does so.
Green, green, green.
Wait for the green, and there it is. Bob King almost jumps the start. In fact, went to go a little bit early and had to wait for the green flag. So Bob King leads down the back straightaway. Vassell looks to the inside in turn number 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Berkeley made his way up to that 3rd spot, but now he's going to have Zach Phelan and Gavin Sadler on his tail tank as they try and sort themselves out. Bob King leads down the back straightaway.
Oh, spin there in turn 3 and 4. I don't think we're going to go yellow. He got it going again, so that's good. Didn't quite catch who that was.
Yeah, Bob King actually falling back to the 3rd spot. Vassell and Berkeley both getting by on the main straightaway on the previous lap. Now Berkeley, he's going to make his way towards the front of the field and try and run down the 97 of Danny Vassell. Berkeley got the fastest lap time of the race so far by quicker than 2/10 than anybody else at the moment, but these times are going to start to drop down very, very quickly.
Yeah, it looks like they're just setting themselves out. The top 3 here are really close and looking really racy at the front.
Just on board here with Joel Berkeley outside on the right-hand Nerf bar. We'll see how close he gets to that 97 machine, and well, has to get out of the gas big time. See how close he does get to that outside retaining wall, but at the moment we have 7 complete, and we've got 33 laps left to run here in the first race of 2.
Looks like this first group 6 has got a bit of crash there. They're
very close there for your top 3 as they almost got into that lap car. Jason Brown, he's done for in the opening race at the moment. But at the moment, it's Danny Vassal in that racemerch.com.au. Factory Cane Australia number 97. The black and pink machine out in front. Has 10 down and 30 laps left to run. Joe Berkeley just about a car length away from your race lead. You go back to Bob King in the 51, who started on the pole and he's trying to keep up with your top 2. Lachlan Smith, Zach Phelan rounds out your top 5. You go back to Gavin Sadler, James Robbie, Mott Shepherd and Fountain rounding out your top 10. Battle on for the race lead. Burton to the top side.
Yeah, Berkeley trying to make that top side work now. Dan's staying down low by the looks of it, so Joel knows it to get around, and he does get around. Nice move around the top side.
It seems to be the little high side is starting to come into effect at the moment. Just as I say that, Berkeley goes down low to shut the door on Vassal, but that's going to allow
Bob.
Yeah, that's going to allow for Bob King to go around the outside. He's going to look to take over that second spot on the racetrack and does so successfully. Now King, he's got his eyes set on the number 9 machine. He goes to the low side with a big slide job, and Berkeley gets out of the gas. Perfect slide job there from Bob King, but you know Berkeley, he's not going to take that line down.
No, straight back to the top line, and I expect to see a return serve for one of those slide jobs if he can get a run coming out of here now.
It just catches the wall on the back straight away, and well, now that's going to allow the 911 of Lachlan Smith, who's kind of been the sleeper of the field in the opening 18 laps so far. Right, Berkeley upside down. Lachlan Smith, luckily, as well as Danny Vassal, not to really bash into that number 9 machine. Here comes Phelan on the inside as well. Nearly 3 wide, in fact, in turns number 1 and 2. Berkeley and Vassal, they made contact, and Berkeley upside down. Vassal as well, he's been hit from every angle, and the number 97 will pull up to the infield.
Yeah, that was a bit unlucky there.
So that's going to give Bob King and Lachlan Smith. Zach Phelan in third. We try and catch up to our front runners, and well, Bob King looking in the goods here after the contact between Berkeley and Vassal. And he's got half a straightaway over your second place car of Lachlan Smith. Zach Phelan in third, Gavin Sadler fourth, and James Robbie as well. He's picked up a couple of spots, made his way up into that top 5 spots.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Lachlan has for Bob King at the moment. Looks like they're both running the high line, so Lachlan might have to try something to get onto the back of him here.
Just trying to, these awful cameras here at Lanier. Haven't quite figured a way how to get the camera pack for Lanier yet, as well as Knoxville, so hopefully we'll get that sorted out. But at the moment, yeah, Bob King doing a nice job in the 51 as we coming up to complete lap number 25. That'll mean 15 laps remain here at Lanier for race number 1 of 2 at this venue here tonight on Ultimate Dirt TV.
Looks like the top 3 have spread out. Lachlan just catches the wall there, trying to find that line to catch up to Bob.
Phelan as well, back there in third. He's done a nice job as well. He's got that wing tugged right back, and probably sitting, if not at a negative 10, possibly a negative 8. But the way the setup is in the fixed setup, that's the only adjustment that you can make inside of the cockpit is pull that wing forward or pull it backwards.
Yeah, and it's all about a matter of timing too. You need to know when to put it in the right position. Generally, acceleration run forward and then slowly pull it back.
You just tell the difference between Lachlan Smith and Zach Phelan as well. You see Smith, I dare say he's probably running at a -4, even -5. You know, with the fuel burning out of the race car, you tend to put the wing just a few more clicks forward.
He does still look like he's running in a neutral position. I'm just having a look at Bob's. He looks like he's running a little bit forward as well now too. Coming up to lap traffic is going to be interesting now, but I think we're running out of laps. Oh!
Wow, Bob King.
That was not...
Talk about unlucky, but I tell you what that does. That opens up the door for Lachlan Smith, and he's going to take the race lead down into 1 and 2. And well, you almost got a feel for Bob right there. He just had nowhere to go, and that's going to give Lachlan Smith the race lead here with just 7 laps left to run in race number 1. And we've gone caution-free so far.
It has been a good race without those cautions. I guarantee Bob's probably got that top wing right forward now without that front wing on the car.
Just trying to get that car to turn the way it should, rather than get really, really tight. Now, but that 51 trying to hang on for a second place. So sitting back there in second, and Zach Phelan. He's now, we saw that wing now on Phelan. He's pushed that forward.
Oh, Lachlan's just had the same issue with lap cars. Bob gets back in front of Zach, comes through. Oh.
It is all happening here, and now we're inside of 4 laps left to run. And well, Bob King, he may have just, he may be back in the race lead, but can he hang on? Because Lachlan Smith, he's not going to die wondering right now. And well, 3 to go. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a slide jump into turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, Bob's definitely struggling without that front wing there.
Off of turn number 4.
Chance on the inside.
Yeah, 2 laps left to run here. And the Gavin Sadler Racing entry, the 911 machine. And he's starting to close in on your race leader. He can't throw the slider in 3 and 4. Lap car on the bottom, just holding his line. A white flag is out here for Bob King. The final lap, he's got half a circle to remain. Down into 3 and 4. Smith with a slide job attempt, but Bob King, he's going to come off for turn number 4 with no front wing. He's going to pick up the win, and he will take out race number 1 for tonight. And Lachlan Smith just pulls up alongside him just to say good race. And Zachary Phelan rounds out your top 3, and what a drive from Phelan. James Robbie comes home in 4th, Gavin Sadler in 5th, Mott in 6th, Marwood in 7th, Fountain 8th, Stevens 9, and Smith rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, so both leaders there are having issues with lap cars spinning in front of them. It's really hard to get these cars to turn mid-corner or even on the straight, so that's why the lap cars were creating such an issue there. It's not easy to get out of the way of them.
Alright, so not lap number 1, but race number 1 is complete, and we'll take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV, and we're going to be back in just a second for race number 2 of the Australian Fixed Setup Racing WP Concreting League here. So stick with us here on Ultimate Dirt TV. We're back shortly. Race number 2. Yes, welcome back to the Ultimate Dirt TV for the WP Concreting at 410 Australian Fixed Setup Racing. Tonight, race number 2. We come back to Linear Speedway. This time, we are under the lights. We are going to throw it over to Sean just to get an interview with our second place finisher. Sean, over to you.
Thanks, Brett. So, Lachlan, congratulations on your second place win in that first race there. How do you feel about that?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, that was a bit of an emotional roller coaster, that race. It had a bit of everything, I thought.
Yeah, we saw that. You were chasing Bob down, and we weren't sure you were going to get there. There's a fair bit of gap, but then you had a bit of trouble with lap cars, and you managed to get in front, but then you also had trouble with lap cars.
Yeah, I had a good chuckle at that. It seemed fitting, but Bob's pace pretty untouchable, I think. So I was hoping lap traffic could slow him up, and then it did. But yeah, that's all good.
Was there much on that low line, or was it pretty much up top?
There was if you nailed it, but I wasn't gonna risk it, sort of thing, because he'd already had a significant gap. I was hoping to get the lap traffic, slow him up, and then give it a crack. But yeah.
Okay. Was there much wing adjustment? We're talking about the wings in that first heat, trying to explain to the audience what the wings do. Did you have to play with the wing much?
Yeah, I moved it all the way back at the beginning just to get nice stable for the inside. But once we settled in up top, I brought it forward a fair bit. Yeah, had pretty good drive once we got some clean air.
That sounds great. Now, it looks like you're about to go qualifying, so good luck in the qualifying session, good luck in the second race, and I look forward to a good run from you.
Cheers, boys. Thanks for the broadcast.
Thanks a lot.
There we have it. Thanks, Sean, for that interview. We do apologise that it was a little bit later than expected. Normally we get to interview our top 3, but we didn't realise Lockie was in the TeamSpeak, not TeamSpeak, in the Discord, sorry. So, nonetheless, we're getting into qualifying here for race number 2. At the moment, we see on the screen 51, the BK Designs. It's Bob King, your winner from race number 1. Can he go and double up here for round number 4 of the series? At the moment, he stands quick time with a 12.435. And Sean, a lot different track to what we've seen in race number 1.
Yeah, we can definitely see that black line there this time, so they are trying to get above that, but looks of it, Bob's running the high line here to get that 12.4, so it's definitely going to be a different track come race time.
Yes, certainly is. Lachlan Smith now puts his name to the number 1 spot with a 12.390. Gavin Sadler jumps to 3rd quick. Zach Phelan, Matty Reid on board here with the number 46, watching him try and turn a couple of laps, but looks like these 2 laps have been completed. His fastest was a 12.915.
Just watching Gavin there, looked like he was going to get better on that second lap, but got a bit loose coming into turn 3.
Continue as well, Joel Berkeley on the racetrack hit the wall on lap number 1. Done the exact same thing on lap number 2, so Joel Berkeley, a no time taken. Well, that's very, very crucial here, not to take your time, and starting deep in the back of the pack, he's going to have to make his way forward if he wants to have a chance at winning this one on board here. We're looking at the number 3 of Bruce Smith, 12.788, a 12.788. That's going to bump him into the top 10. That's going to be 7th quick, in fact.
It's always a good show when Joel starts off the back of the grid.
Go back to, I think it was the 410 Harvey Bay Classic, the open setup presented by the guys at the V8 Online, who started at the back. He actually won, he got the last transfer in the B main and started position, I think, 24 in that one, and actually picked up a win from that 24 starting spot. And, there was, Australia's best when it comes to the Harvey Bay Classic. But look, aside from that, we come back to the 410 AFSR WP Concreting Fixed Setup League, and at the moment it's Lachlan Smith who will be tonight's Quick Time Award in race number 2. Bob King will be in position number 2. Gavin Sadler in 3rd. Danny Vassell qualifies 4th. Zachary Phelan in 5th. You go back to James Robbie, Daniel Stevens, Bruce Smith, Terry Malden, Dwan Precy rounds out your top 10.
looks like a couple of guys have moved up in qualifying. They've got a feel for this setup and possibly a little bit with the track setup, so it should be a good race.
Just looking at the rest of the other drivers, there's 14 drivers, and we got Matt Reed in 11th, Tammy Bastain in 12th, Matthew Godwin in 13th, and Joel Berkeley, who we said earlier on, no time taken due to contact with that outside wall. He's going to start in position number 14. So roughly a similar sort of field, slicker racetrack, especially on the entrance to the corners, and it pretty much goes the whole way around both ends of the racetrack. And well, you just think, with the new season build that iRacing has given us, throttle control is going to be very, very important on a black slick racetrack like this.
Yeah, anytime you put that right rear anywhere near that slick spot, you will probably go around. It's going to be a tricky racetrack to race on.
We are inside of 30 seconds, and we might just drag Lachlan Smith back down to the booth. And we're going to talk to him for a second time in a row, and this time it's for the fastest qualifier for race number 2. Lockie, congratulations on putting that 911 on the pole. You've got to be happy with that one.
Yeah, pretty stoked. I didn't think there'd be that much of a gap in it, to be honest.
Continuing on the good form and the good race that you and Bob had in the last one, what do you expect that the track's going to do? Already looking at the track at both ends, it's fairly slick.
Yeah, it's bloody tough to drive in quali then, and it's only going to get worse. I sort of wish I was starting out at P2 so I could be on the high line, but I think it's whoever's going to get on there first will hold the race, I think.
Well, quickly we'll let you get out of here. We know you've got 40 laps to do, so any sponsors or shout out you want to give before we let you get out of here?
Factory Cane Australia and Gavin Sattler Racing.
There we have it. Lachlan Smith will start out of position number 1. Bob King will start out of position number 2. On the inside of row number 2, it's going to be the 71 of Gavin Sattler. To his outside will be the 97 of Danny Vassell. At a position 5, we'll see the 49 of Zachary Phelan lining up alongside the 41 of James Robbie. At a position number 7, it's going to see the 66 of Daniel Stevens lining up alongside the 3 of Bruce Smith. At a position number 9, we'll see the 10 of Terry Marwood line up alongside Dwan Precy. We go back to position number 11, which will be Matthew Reed, and he will line up alongside the 5 of Tammy Bastain. We go back to the 34 of Matthew Godwin, and Joel Berkeley rounding out our 14-car field. And Sean, we had a few incidences in the last one, but caution-free. Will we see the same again here in race number 2?
I think that's what made the racing so good in race 1. So I hope that we can get a caution-free race for 40 laps, and hopefully we get a good race here again in race 2.
Alright, so pace car will exit the circuit this time by as the drivers file down the back straight away. 14 900 horse-powered sprint cars getting set to launch. Lachlan Smith, Bob King, Gavin Sattler, Danny Vassell. We are green, and King with a good launch, along with the 97 of Danny Vassell. Down in 1 and 2, they go 3 wide. Sattler makes a little mistake in turns 1 and 2, but here comes Vassell. He's going to power around the outside of the 911 of Lachlan Smith.
That inside line looking tricky already. If you get up into that middle, definitely slows you down.
Look at Bob King on the racetrack at the moment. Will lead the opening lap as he did in the last one. Well, Danny Vassell now is going to go to the low side. In fact, he's going to try and slide it through the middle. Just gets a little bit out of shape as King. He's going to hit the wall now. But along for 7 as here comes Smith trying to double up and get race number 2 win.
Looking at Joel coming through the field at the moment, looks like he's just having to stick on that high line, which is making it really hard to pass cars. We'll keep an eye on him.
Berkeley already passed half the field in the opening 4 laps. As they go down the back straight away, expecting to go to the low side and throw a slide job. But as I say that, they go 3 wide off of turn number 2. Oh, we got Vassell into the wall. We got contact as well with Phelan and Smith, I think it was. And well, Smith comes out the better of that one, and so does Berkeley. Now Berkeley's stuck behind the three of Smith and Sadler back there in fourth, and well, Berkeley just has to get on the brakes a bit to save running into the back of the 71. Berkeley up to fifth already.
Yeah, definitely putting on a clinic at the moment. We've got Lachlan not getting away, Bob not getting away from Lachlan at the front, so this is looking good for the front two.
The front two drivers are just pulling away from the rest of the field, but I just got a sense that if Berkeley can get past Bruce Smith here in that number 3 for that third spot, it's going to be a lot closer battle when Berkeley comes up to get past his third place car.
Yeah, and if he can do it before the leaders get this lap car of Terry, it's definitely going to close them up, because it looks like Terry is holding them up a little bit at the moment.
Just as I say that as well, Berkeley's going to look to the outside of the 3, so he's going to make the pass for third, and he does so, and that's going to complete lap number 11, so 29 laps left to run. Terry Marwood, that lap car, and a whole straightaway distance between your second place car of Lachlan Smith and Joel Berkeley. In fact, how does that? Terry Marwood just pulling to the low side of the speedway, just letting the cars go by. Nice battle on for 4th and 5th here between Sadler and Smith. Sadler's going to have the best one, and he's going to have the run coming up at turn number 4.
Yeah, that high line's definitely working a lot better than the low line at the moment.
Sadler trying to reel in the third place car of Joel Berkeley, and Berkeley's fastest lap is the 13.065. Oh, he's right there. He almost collected the top wing of that car that was upside down. I think it was a 34 of Matthew Godwin. As now we look up towards the front of the field, and there's still Bob King to lead Lachlan Smith by probably half a straightaway here.
I feel it's going to be the same as race 1, Brett. We're definitely going to have to look at these lap cars. Matt just moves down to the bottom there to give the leaders the high line there, so that's good for him.
And King doing a nice job. Let's hopefully those lap cars can stay out of his way, as Matty Reid has gone lap down from your 2 cars in positions 1 and 2. Berkeley in third, going to get around, look to get around of the 46. Hammers that wall on the outside in turns 3 and 4, but I tell you, here comes Sadler. We're going to complete lap number 20 here, or lap number 9 actually, going on to lap number 20 in halfway distance, and we've almost gone 60 laps without a caution.
Yeah, great testament to the drivers and how well they're doing tonight. Gavin definitely looking racy on the back of Joel there.
Yeah, he's actually really closing in on the number 9 machine. You just got to wonder if that 9 machine may have just bent that Jacobs ladder on the right hand side, or damage that shock and also the rear end, because that car is certainly losing some speed. And, when you get that outside wall a couple of times, as hard as he hit it, it's always going to damage that race car.
Yeah, with the sprint car rear ends, they are very fragile, so any hit against the wall or anything does put them out of squareness a little bit.
Starts to build just a little bit of a gap there. It was, but you look up towards your race leader, Bob King, and well, he's looking nice and smooth at the moment as he comes down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. We'll be 24 laps complete, 16 laps left to run. It was about this part of the race where he had an incident with the lap car in race number 1. So it looks like he may just get away with this one scot-free, hopefully, in that 51.
That gap's definitely visibly closer now. Joel's definitely catching up to Lachlan.
Just trying to keep an eye on the top wing as well. The wing angle, whether Berkeley might have pushed that forward just to get a little bit more speed out of that one, and just try and free the car up a bit.
Yeah, definitely closing in now. This is going to be a good battle for second in a couple of laps.
Just wonder if Lockie's starting to get tired of whether. I can't really say the setup's going away because it's a big setup. They're both on the same setup, but I just wonder if Lockie's just struggling to get a hold of that 911 on black and slicker racetrack and under the lights. Now Berkeley right on the rear tail, taking the crash bar of that 911. What can he do in turn number 1 and 2? They come down the main straightaway. Is he going to throw the slide job? He's going to go to the bottom and throw the big slider on Lachlan Smith. And well, Berkeley from 14th up to 2nd. Smith not going to go without a fight. He's going to return serve in turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, great racing by these two. Joel's going to go back and serve it up again. Nice slide job. Another great run off turn 4 for Lachlan. Slides back up, doesn't quite get it this time. Looks like Joel will have to run around the outside.
And what this does with these two guys battling as well, it actually allows Bob King just that a little bit of free air. But as I say that, man, Berkeley, he has caught that right up on the cushion, right up on the outside wall, and he's starting to reel in your race leader. But Bob King has seen it at the Harvey Bay Classic. Could be seeing it yet again here for the driver of the TTL Esports number 9 machine.
Well, we just got into the wall a little bit there. That may cost him. I wonder if he's going to have enough laps to get up onto the back of Bob and pull a slider on him.
There we come off at turn number 4. Bob King's going to get into the wall. Now the battle is going to heat up for the race lead. King going to go to low side, protect that slide job. But Berkeley, they virtually throw a slide job on themselves just to try and get the momentum up. King is going to go to the low side. Berkeley's going to stay up top. We got 5 laps to go here for race number 2.
Yeah, that was really smart driving there by Bob. He went down to the low line. Looks like he's just pulled a couple of car lengths gap, and Joel just gets caught up in that wall again, running so close to that fence.
Berkeley, he gets those right side tyres buried deep into that turn 1 and 2 wall, and that's going to allow Bob King to have a full straightaway lead with just 3 laps left to run. I don't think Smith is going to have anything for Berkeley in second. The car just a little bit too free at the moment. There's 2 laps to go here at Lanier.
Bob would have had his heart in his mouth then when he saw those 2 cars in front of him, but he's managed to get around them.
Down into turn number 1 and 2, in fact down the back straight away for the final time. Bob King will take out race number 2. And that's going to be Bob King picking up the victory. Second will go to Joel Berkeley. Third is going to be Lachlan Smith. Gavin Sadler in 4th. Bruce Smith rounds out your top 5. Zach Phelan, Stevens, Bastain, Matty Reid and Godwin rounding out your top 10. Go back to Terry Marwood, James Robbie, Danny Vassell and Dwan Pierce was our 14 car field. And well, Sean, it's been interesting.
That was definitely a smart drive there by Bob. I believe if he stayed on that top line, Joel was definitely going to pull a slider on him and get in front. But he managed to make that bottom line work for a few laps and get a couple of car lengths gap.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to drag him in here for a 3rd time. So we'll send it over to you to have a word with our 3rd place finisher in Lachlan Smith.
Hey, boy.
Hey, Lachlan, great race again. Running in 2nd for a while there, and we always knew Joel was going to be charging pretty hard from the rear.
Yeah, I was sort of staying with Joel and then closing and falling back and then started chasing a bit more time than I think I could handle, and he come up on me out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was great watching those slide jobs. I think for a couple of laps there, you were both doing slide jobs on each other, nice and clean. But then he just managed to get that run on the outside and just pulled away.
Yeah, I got a bit frazzled because, I literally didn't know he was there till he was on my door. And then, trying to chase back the ground I lost, I just, kept making more and more mistakes. So, well done to Joel and Bob.
Yeah, good job for you on your 3rd as well, and obviously that 2nd place in the heat, race number 1.
Yeah, thanks, boys. It's been a pretty good night for me, actually.
Did you want to thank your sponsors again?
Yeah, Gavin Sadler Racing and Factory Cane Australia.
Thanks for putting on the show, Lachlan.
Thanks for having us, boys.
Saw some really good racing here tonight. I think that track was a really hard track, and the boys definitely stepped up and provided us with some really good racing.
Yeah, it certainly was. And we're just going to have a quick chat with the driver of the 71 of Gavin Sadler. Gavin, first of all, you finished fourth, but overall, I think top 5 in both races. You've got to be happy with how the night's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good fun out there. The racing up the front was hard as usual, and yeah, it was good fun.
And talk about the track difference between track 1 and track 2. Obviously, a lot slicker under the lights here at Lanier.
Yeah, absolutely. There was there wasn't much of a groove up the top. By about halfway through the race, Joel and I was running behind Joel there for a while, and we were just banging the wall, lap after lap after lap, because it was just, yeah, there wasn't much room up there. It was good fun though.
Look, a pair of top 5 finishes for you for round number 4. I think it is in the series of. It's had a pretty good night, as you could say. But any sponsors or shout-outs you want to give before we let you get out of here?
Yeah, shout out to Factory Cane Australia for supporting us, and for you guys for doing an awesome job tonight and broadcasting our event, and Dan for putting it on.
There we have it, Gavin Sadler coming home in that 4th place. And Sean, before we wrap this up, any final closing thoughts for here at Lanier?
Oh, it's just a great night of racing, I feel. Definitely shown that sort of style of fixed racing setups can provide that sort of racing. Everyone's very even with the setup, so no one can get an advantage on it. So it really comes down to the driver, and we really saw that in play here tonight.
Yeah, very well said. And thank you for joining me here in the booth as well.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're going to be at Discord, and we're going to wrap this one up. So we've seen Bob King take out race number 1 and 2. In fact, Lachlan Smith bags himself a 2nd and a 3rd. This time, 3rd place goes to Lachlan Smith in race number 2. We want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank BK Designs, as well as everyone that is working hard behind the scenes here at Ultimate Dirt TV. It's been a fun night. We want to thank you for watching the Australian Fixed Setup Racing WP Concreting 410 Fixed Sprint Car Series. Next week, round number 5 will be here live again on the YouTube, same channel, so please feel free to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty of broadcasts to come here on YouTube as well, so happens, got a couple of races during the week, during the day on Australian time. In fact, we got one on Friday at about lunchtime, so if you want to hit that subscribe button, you can watch it while you're at work or at home, whatever you might be doing around the world. On behalf of everyone here at the Ultimate Dirt TV, my name has been Brett Miller. I've been joined by Sean O'Hara here in the UDTV booth. We say good night and farewell.